First tonight, some major changes out of Huber Heights.
Yeah, the Huber Heights City Council appointed an interim city manager. Now this after city manager Richard Zick was arrested Sunday in Mount Vernon and charged with driving while intoxicated plus driving left of center.
Yeah, yesterday Huber Heights City Council had an emergency meeting to determine appropriate disciplinary action for Zick. Couldn't come to a decision, but tonight another meeting was held. This time action was taken.
Kasha Hancock was there, and so Kasha, can you break down exactly what happened?
Yeah, Adam Elise, after Richard Zick was arrested on Sunday, Huber Heights City Council met tonight and was in executive session for almost 2 hours before coming to a decision.
The employees of this city and the people of this city should know. The employees will know it because they know John. And the people of the city need to know. They can relax and breathe easy because we got a professional.
The Huber Heights City Council decided Tuesday to place Zick on paid administrative leave. Now Administrative Battalion Chief John Russell will serve as interim city manager. Huber Heights Mayor Jeff Gore says they're confident in Russell filling the position.
So John is a manager. John is a coach. John is manages through structure. We are working and we are acting to make sure that the continuity of the city and the continuation of the city business continues moving forward.
Mayor Gore says they don't know how long Zick will be on leave. When we do learn the timeline of Zick's leave, we'll be sure to update you on air and online at Dayton247now.com. Back to you.
Kasha, thank you. A woman is in custody tonight after a chase turned deadly yesterday. The Montgomery County Sheriff's Office says 50-year-old Melissa Hutchins was wanted for dozens of charges, including drugs, theft, and driving with a suspended license. When deputies tried to pull her over, they say she drove off, leading them on a chase along US 35. Now, the Sheriff's Office said Hutchins hit a convertible near 3rd Street, which then hit a pickup truck. 35-year-old Colby Ross was ejected from that convertible, died at the hospital from his injuries.
Hutchins could face
improvements and a new building bond. Those two accounts are legally allocated for improvements and a new building and cannot be used for salaries. It's also important to understand that salaries and benefits make up 80% of the district's operational account.
Tip City School Board members heard from teachers and community members who opposed layoffs at last month's meeting and again tonight. At last month's meeting, the board tabled the vote about layoffs. Once again, teacher layoffs weren't on the agenda tonight.
People are a precious commodity. We were expecting that the teachers would be on the agenda today because the RIF process had worked its way out, and we were shocked it wasn't on the list.
As for the 8 other positions in jeopardy, 4 non-teaching positions and 1 administrative position was eliminated after a 4-0 vote. The resolution documents say Superintendent Aaron Morin recommended these terminations due to financial reasons. One community member thinks there are other ways to save money.
There's other opportunities for if they're 3.5 in debt. Middle school, which had $5 million spent on it 6 years ago, and they're still owe $3 million on it, and they're planning on bulldozing it.
It's not clear when the board will decide whether or not to cut teachers, but one thing Mahaney emphasized was that the district is already losing teachers to other districts, and these layoffs will just add to the lack of educators in this district. Back to you in studio.
Generally, thanks. Well, some good news when it comes to our weather, especially because we've been anticipating a severe threat. Looks like that is diminished for the most part.
Yes, we had the severe threat for tomorrow. Now we're looking like some areas might not even see any rain. So that system is going to take in the future here it's the more southerly to a southeasterly track. So areas to our south and east, the areas of south and east of Dayton, have a small chance. And you can see that here for isolated and scattered, that little white bar. It shows a very small chance, around 20% chance for a widely scattered or isolated shower, maybe a couple thunderstorms in the afternoon tomorrow. But most of it looking like it initiates off to our east and our southeast and continues to move off to the northeast. So much of the area we were going to go code red tomorrow. We are no longer going code red. We don't really anticipate a big severe event. Most of us, especially to the north and northwest of Dayton, look to potentially just stay dry all day.
Deadly storms have been sweeping across the Midwest tonight. We're going to take a look at the devastating damage from multiple tornadoes in Iowa.
And coming up, we're going to take a look at the full next forecast for you and your next weather maker. You're watching Dayton 24/7 now.
Well, some incredible video coming out of Iowa. Destruction after multiple tornadoes touched down tonight. This video showing the path one of those tornadoes took through Greenfield, demolishing homes in its path. Right now, we know at least one person is dead. Multiple people are hurt. The National Weather Service has confirmed at least 2 tornadoes traveled 60 to 65 miles per hour.
It was actually all gone. Like, you can't even tell where we lived. So, yeah, it's just kind of crazy.
It's devastating. I've lived here all my life. I'm just praying that everybody was safe.
Now, a storm chaser in Adams County captured this video of one of those powerful tornadoes. The storm snapped at least 3 250-foot tall wind turbines, which fell to the ground, sparked multiple fires. Iowa's governor has declared a disaster emergency for 15 Iowa counties.
All right, now taking a look at the futurecast, you can kind of see that system off to our west. Now, as that front continues, it's already weakening now, but as it continues to move into our area, it really dries out. You can see a couple of green spots there, but not seeing much in the way of precipitation. Can't rule out a few isolated showers with our cloudy start, but throughout the day, much of the precipitation looks to, again, initiate to our east and south and continue to move off to the northeast. So most of the day looks completely dry. With the system so close to us though, especially south and east of the Dayton area, can't rule out a widely scattered or isolated shower or storm, but again, most of us look to stay dry. Another chance for rain as we head into the Thursday afternoon hours as we have another system move to our south, and we could see a few pop-up showers then as well.
Well, the status of Donald Trump's New York hush money trial remains in the hands of the judge. The defense and prosecution left court earlier today without a final decision from the judge to grant the defense's request to toss out the case. And the former president continues to blame the Biden administration.
This is all about Biden. Can't campaign, so he's trying to injure his opponent. They're trying to hurt the opponent because they can't win it fair and square.
Now, closing arguments are expected next Tuesday after the judge provided no clear timeline on a decision. The case could wrap up as early as next week. Trump continues to plead not guilty to all 34 charges against him, denies the alleged affair with Stormy Daniels.
Former Trump lawyer Rudy Giuliani pled not guilty to 9 felony charges for his role in overturning the results of the 2020 presidential election in Arizona. Prosecutors say Giuliani has not shown any intent to comply with state's legal process. Giuliani criticized the case, saying it's far too political.
I do consider this indictment a complete embarrassment to the American legal system, but I've shown no tendency not to comply. I show up for every court appearance.
Prosecutors are now requesting a $10,000 cash bond. Giuliani has 30 days to secure an appearance bond for booking procedures in Arizona. Now his trial is set for October.
And tonight we're hearing from Maryland's governor as he praised everyone involved in the recovery effort after that deadly Baltimore bridge collapse. The Dolly container ship responsible for that collapse was tugged out of the wreckage, moved back to port just yesterday. The ship and crew on board had been stuck at the bridge site for 55 days. Maryland's governor now says there's still work to be done.
I will not be satisfied until I can look over the same site and see the Francis Scott Key Bridge standing again. That's mission completion.
Now, 6 construction workers were killed in the collapse. The ship's removal now allows all pre-collapse deep draft commercial vessels in and out of the Port of Baltimore.
Maryland Governor Moore also saying he's working with the state to ensure costs of rebuilding the Key Bridge are covered by the federal government. He says it's essential to ensure Maryland rebuilds the bridge as quickly as possible.
We've got to do this on time and on budget. That's our commitment. And so we want to make sure that in order to do that, that's why the 100% cost share becomes so important.
President Biden already said the government will pay for the entire cost of reconstruction, estimated between $1.7 and $1.9 billion. This is to hopefully meet the state's goal to rebuild the bridge by the fall of 2028.
Well, here's a live look from our Eco Plumber Skycam over Beaver Creek tonight. A warm night as you step outside. Let's check in with Tim.
All right, a nice evening out here on the Watson's Weather Patio tonight. Couple of things. Breeze is starting to pick up. It's still very warm for this time of night. A lot of locations in the 70s still, and dew points are still a little high as well. So feels a little bit warmer as well. So current temperatures right now, you can see Dayton sitting right around 79 degrees. So it is past 11 and we are already, or still, sitting almost 80 degrees. So very, very warm conditions out there. 79 as well as you head up towards Sydney. Now, dew points are not unbearable by any means, especially because the sun is down, but it's still technically feeling a little bit warmer out there. It feels like it's still 81 degrees in Dayton and 80 down towards Middletown. This is a very summertime setup for us. These southwesterly winds really pumping in that warmer air and those humid conditions to make it feel a lot heavier out here. Now, staying in the low 80s tomorrow, and after that, a couple days, we're going to hang around right around that 80-degree mark, most of the time in the upper 70s to low 80s.
In an effort to lower gas prices this summer, President Biden is planning to release 1 million barrels of gasoline. Tapping the reserves is a step the president can take on his own to tackle inflation by increasing supply. Critics say the president is playing politics ahead of the election. A live look at AAA's gas prices tracker now. You can see prices at or around $3.60. Although here in the Miami Valley, we're averaging just a little bit lower, around $3.55.
An invasive plant now harming the environment. What to do if you spot honeysuckle growing near you.
You're watching Dayton 24/7 now. Students at a local elementary will begin their summer break with a pair of new shoes. Shoes for the Shoeless, and volunteers from Dayton Realtors teamed up with Shawnee Elementary today to give away shoes and socks for children in need. The nonprofit organization provides properly fitting shoes and socks in 14 Southwest Ohio counties. Organizers say the effects of not having properly fitting shoes are diverse.
You have shoes that are too small or too large. Kids self-limit themselves without even thinking about it. They don't run normally. It's a social thing as well. You see tattered shoes or the pungent smell, maybe they're ostracized or they're isolated. If your feet hurt, as an educator, again, you see kids that take their shoes off in class and they're not focusing.
Ford also says having properly fitting shoes can improve the overall quality of life for children.
Ohio Congressman Mike Turner and members of the House Intelligence Committee visiting Wright Pat today. They are there for a two-day bipartisan retreat focusing on national intelligence and strategies to keep the U.S. safe. The committee says coming together in a bipartisan way is crucial because it requires efforts from everyone to ensure national security.
The understanding of what our adversaries are capable of directly informs the whole rest of Wright-Patterson Air Force Base that's on the design and engineering, the research labs that are testing, that are all looking at what we can try to find as advantage on that battlefield for tomorrow.
Congressman Turner says almost all national intelligence information is gathered at the base.
Governor Mike DeWine announcing round 13 of Ohio's Violent Crime Reduction Grant Program, and more money is coming our way. Take a look. The Montgomery County Sheriff's Office getting $85,000 to pay for ongoing public safety services and to prevent and investigate violent crime. Previously, the Sheriff's Office got $185,000 for this. This is now the 5th round of grants from this program for Montgomery County, and in Preble County, the Eaton Police Division will be getting around $20,000 to install cameras in strategic locations, helping solve, deter, and reduce crime. These cameras will help identify vehicles used in crimes, plus stolen vehicles or wanted persons in those vehicles.
Well, Bengals fans get ready for some change, not to the team, but to the stadium. We got all the information on the team's most recent investment next.
You're watching Dayton 24/7 now.
The Dayton 24/7 Now News app, brought to you by the Jeff Schmidt Auto Group.
The honeysuckle bush and vine problem getting worse throughout the Ohio Valley tonight. Gardeners, homeowners, and farmers, they're all struggling to keep the invasive plant at bay. Honeysuckle is also damaging the environment. As James Pilcher shows us, it's apparently harming aquatic life in area ponds and streams.
Honeysuckle, it's everywhere. And even though it's pretty and smells nice, it's now called the kudzu of the Midwest, a reference to the invasive vine that's taken over the South. And it's continuing to spread throughout the region, choking off plants in woods, forests, farms, and even homeowners' backyards. Great Parks of Hamilton County 2 years ago even hired farmers to bring in goats to eat it to try to cut it back. University of Kentucky horticultural extension agent Robbie Brockman says it's much like kudzu in another respect. It was originally brought in as an ornamental plant and sold as recently as 20 years ago. Now, however,
it's considered an invasive species because it is so aggressive. So it is really taking over areas and outcompeting a lot of our native vegetation.
And now new research from Northern Kentucky University indicates another threat to the environment, a triple whammy for area ponds and streams. Honeysuckle leaves falling into waterways can poison the water for developing frogs and salamanders. Those leaves also deplete the oxygen for other forms of life because they degrade so quickly. And plants suck water dry faster than normal for areas that pond up in the springtime, areas where all sorts of life get their start. One such pond at the Boone County Extension Nature Center has several spots where salamanders or frogs have laid eggs.
It would be, fish, aquatic insects, all the organisms that are in that aquatic ecosystem would be affected by that.
Brockman showed me how to remove honeysuckle, saying you need to cut it as low as you can and then apply herbicide right to the stumps as soon as possible.
Herbicides tend to be very effective for controlling bush honeysuckle. You can kill it without herbicides, but you have to continually come in here and